Hi my friend, how are you? Welcome to Choice Tech, and in this video of Choice Tech, we are going to solve together the assembly line scheduling problem using dynamic programming. We are going to check its problem statement right away. I am going to explain the problem statement of the assembly line scheduling problem using this graphical representation. This problem is related to the assembly lines which are installed in the factories where cars are made. Now these assembly lines are automated. There are various stations in each of these assembly lines, and automated jobs like painting of the chassis and denting of the chassis, as well as installation of engines, installation of seats, etc., take place in these stations. So as you can see, there are two assembly lines, assembly line 1 and assembly line 2. These circles represent the stations which are denoted by the variable S. In S11, 1 indicates the assembly line 1 and this one represents station number 1. Over here in S13, it this 1 represents assembly line 1 and this 3 represents station number 3. Similarly, in assembly line 2, if we look at S22, this 2 indicates assembly line 2 and this 2 indicates that it is a station number 2 on assembly line 2. Now we have E1 and E2. These are two variables and they denote the time it takes for a car to enter these assembly lines. So E1 indicates the time taken by a chassis to enter assembly line 1 and E2 indicates the time taken by a chassis to enter the assembly line 2. Similarly, we have exit times over here. We have EX1 and EX2. So EX1 denotes the time taken by a made up chassis, by a properly made up chassis to exit assembly line 1, and EX2 is the time taken by the chassis or the car to exit the assembly line 2. Now we have these variables T11, T12 written inside the circle. So what do they denote? So let me tell you that this T11 indicates the time taken by this station to do a job on the chassis. So let's say if a chassis is over here, 1 indicates it is assembly line 1 and this one indicates that it is station number 1. So T11 indicates the time taken at this particular station in assembly line 1. Similarly, T23, if you see, then T23 indicates the time taken in station number 3 in assembly line 2. Okay, let's check out this one. So if this is T12, so it is time taken, time spent by the chassis at this station, which is station number 2 of assembly line 1. Now we have these arrows, and let me tell you what these arrows indicate. Actually, this is the actual spice to the problem. So what happens, suppose a chassis is at station number 1 of assembly line 1 over here. Now it has two choices. After the job is done over here, after spending time T11, it has two choices. It can either go to the next station in the same assembly line, or it can change the assembly line and go to the next station. It has got two choices. All right. So when it moves to the next station in the same assembly line, no extra time is taken by the chassis. All right. But when it changes the assembly line, then there is some extra time incurred by the chassis. All right. And that is denoted by CT1, 2. Actually, it is very much specific to this station. So when the chassis is going to change the assembly line and move from assembly line 1 to assembly line 2, the time taken by it will be CT1, 2. Okay, so this one indicates assembly line 1 and this 2 indicates the position. We are going to see it when we will solve the problem and it will be more clear to you. Now if you see this arrow, then also if a chassis is over here in station 2-1, which is assembly line 2, station number 1, then it has got two options. It can go to the next station in the same assembly line, or it can move to the next station in a different assembly line. So over here no extra time will be taken, but if it moves to the next station in the first assembly line, then extra time will be incurred, and that time will be denoted by CT2, 2. Now let's check how this problem is going to be presented to you in the interviews. See this. This is the way the problem will be presented to you in the form of two-dimensional arrays and one-dimensional arrays. The first two-dimensional array, which is denoted by T, represents the time taken at each of the stations in the two assembly lines. There are 4 stations in this particular problem. The first row indicates the time taken at each of the 4 stations in assembly line 1. The second row indicates the time taken at each of the stations in assembly line 2. Over here, this array E represents two values, 10 and 12. So 10 is E1 and 12 is E2. They represent the time taken to enter the assembly line 1 and assembly line 2. Similarly, we have X, which represents the array of the exit times. 18 is EX1 and 7 is EX2. Now we have another two-dimensional array, which is the array of change time. So the first elements are always going to be 0, because when the chassis is entering, it is going into the next station in the assembly line in which it enters. So there is no question of it changing the assembly line. However, see here, if the chassis tries to move to this station in this assembly line number 2, then the time taken by it, the extra time taken by it will be 7, which is represented by CT1, 2. Now don't think it in terms of array. I am starting the indexes here from 1. Well, so with all this data given, you need to find the minimum time it will take to build a car chassis. So that involves entering, exiting, all the jobs happening at all these stations, changing of the assembly lines means it can do, it has a choice. So we need to find the minimum optimized time it will take to build a car chassis. We are going to move to our framework now, where we will solve this problem. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, then I request you to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon next to it. That way you will get notified whenever I release new videos like this in future. If you are enjoying watching this video, then do give a thumbs up to video, because that is going to motivate me a lot. Now let's move to the framework where we are going to solve this problem. Here we are at our framework. You can see I have listed out the entire data here. This data we discussed a minute ago in the slides. We have two arrays, T1 and T2. We are going to fill these arrays. Now T1 will hold the minimum time taken at assembly line 1. T2 is going to hold the minimum time taken at assembly line 2. And out of these two arrays, whichever gives us the minimum time, that will give us our answer. Now we are going to select the minimum time out of these two arrays, and that will be our answer. We are solving this problem using dynamic programming. So we are going to begin from the lowest subproblem, which is this cell. So we are going to start from here. Now here, time taken at this station in assembly line 1 is given as 4. But we'll also have to add entry time to it. Okay, because this is the time taken by the chassis to enter assembly line 1. So the total time will be 10 plus 4, 14. I'm going to write 14 over here. Similarly for T2, the time given here, the time taken at station number 1 is 2, but the entry time is 12. So total time at this station will be 12 plus 2. So it will be 14 again. Okay, we move to this second cell. All right, that represents our second station in the assembly lines. Okay, so now at this station, the chassis can arrive from either assembly line 1 or assembly line 2. We have already discussed that in the problem. So if it arrives from assembly line 1, then the total time taken will be 14 plus 5. It will be 19. So this becomes one of our candidates. But if it arrives from assembly line 2, then extra time will be taken. Alright, what will be that extra time? So that extra time will be 9. So the total cost is going to be 14 plus 5, which is 19, and 9. So this makes it 28. So I am going to write 28 over here, which is one of our candidates for this cell. Now 19 is less than 28, so I omit 28 and 19 stays. Okay, let's talk about this cell. At this station, the chassis can arrive from here or it can arrive from here. Alright, from assembly line 1. If it arrives from here, then it's simple. I am going to add this 10 to this 14 and it will give me 24. This is one of my candidates. But if it arrives from this station, then extra time will be incurred. So what will be that extra time? 7. So it will be 14 plus this 10, 24 plus 7. So it will be 31. All right. Okay. Now this 24 is less than 31. So I am eliminating 31. All right. And thus I have solved two of my sub-problems. Okay. All right. We move here. Now here also the chassis can arrive from either here or from here, from assembly line 2. So if it arrives from assembly line 1, then the time taken will be 19 plus 3, 22. But if it arrives from this station, then what will be the time? It will be 24 plus 3, which is 27, plus 2. So it will be 29. Alright. So since 22 is less than 29, I will omit 29, 22 stays. Okay. Now let's talk about this cell. So over here we have two choices. The chassis can arrive from here or it can arrive from here. So if it arrives from here, then total time taken will be 24 plus 1. So it will be 25. Okay. So this represents one of my candidates. And then we have another choice if the chassis arrives from here. So what will be the time? It will be 19 plus 1, which is 20, plus 4. So it becomes 24. See here, 24 is less than 25. So at this station in assembly line 2, if the chassis arrives from assembly line 1, then it will take lesser time. Alright, so I am going to put 24 over here. Alright, so we are at the end, we are at the last cell now. So over here again we have two choices. The chassis can arrive from here or it can arrive from here. So when it arrives from the same assembly line, the cost, the time incurred will be 22 plus 2, it will be 24. But when it arrives from assembly line 2, then the time incurred will be 24 plus 2, 26, plus 8. So it will be 34. So 34 is much greater than 24. So we are going to omit 34 and 24 stays. Alright. Over here we have got two choices. Again, the chases can arrive from the same assembly line or it can arrive from assembly line 1. So when it arrives from the same assembly line, the time incurred will be 24 plus 4, so it becomes 28. Alright, when it arrives from this station of assembly line 1, then the total cost will be 22 plus 4, which is 26, plus 5, 31. So 28 is less than 31, so 28 stays and 31 is gone. Now we have another factor over here, which is exit time. Alright, so the chasis is at its last station and now it has to move out of the assembly lines. So what time will be taken then? So this 24 will be added to 80. So what will be the total time? It will be 42. Alright, now the chasis has moved out of assembly line 1. So suppose if it is at assembly line 2, then the total time taken will be 28 plus 7. So it will be 35. Now we are going to take the minimum value out of these two. So what is the minimum value? It is 35. So 35 becomes our answer. That means 35 is the minimum time it is going to take to build a car chassis when we have these two assembly lines. Alright, and we know that the chassis is coming out of T2, and this problem can be extended to find out the path the chassis has taken between the two assembly lines from entering the assembly line and exiting the assembly line. But this 35 gives us the answer. Now let's see its algorithm. This is the algorithm of the assembly line scheduling problem. As you can see, the first cell of the array is calculated by adding the entrance time to the time taken at the first station, okay, at each of the assembly lines. Now then this becomes our algorithm. So T1i will be minimum of T1i minus 1 plus A0i and T2i minus 1 plus CT1i plus A0i. So calculation is for the same assembly line, and this calculation is when the chassis is coming from a different assembly line. Similarly, T2i is going to be minimum of T2i minus 1 plus A1i, which is the calculation if the chassis is arriving from the same assembly line, comma T1i minus 1 plus CT0i plus A1i. So this is the calculation if the chassis is arriving from assembly line 1. And then the minimum time is going to be minimum of T1n minus 1 plus x10. We are adding the exit time now. And T2n minus 1 plus x20. So that will give us our answer. With this, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to give it a thumbs up. If you got any doubts, then you are welcome to put them down in the comment section. I promise that I'll answer them within 24 hours. I look forward so much to help you with programming and algorithms, and only for this video. Goodbye and see ya.